Mario Fernandez's home after 11 because law enforcement saw him there, correct?
That's correct.
And you don't have a single shred of evidence to believe that Mr. Fernandez ever was at Potomac that night?
No.
You did speak with Ms. Bridegan that night at the police station?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This was not recorded.
That's correct.
You did tell the jury a couple days ago that everyone's a suspect until they're not a suspect, correct?
That's correct.
There is no way for you to know whether Ms. Bridegan was a suspect at that point in time when you spoke to her.
You're right, correct.
And yet you chose just not to record it because you told the jury I was giving her bad news, so I didn't think we should do that, essentially, right?
That's correct.
Okay. When you spoke to the Bridegan brothers, you recorded those interviews, correct?
Yes.
They were audio recorded and video recorded.
Yes.
On the night of the homicide, you did inquire as to whether Ms. Bridegan had life insurance on Mr. Bridegan?
I don't remember that it was that evening, but yes, we did ask.
Okay. And you found out that Ms. Bridegan benefited.
Grounds. Let me see you at sidebar for if you have a response.
Madam Court Reporter. Through your investigation, you learned that Ms. Bridegan did receive life insurance, correct?
Yes.
And that was important for you to determine what that was because you were trying to investigate and find out any and all information you could about this homicide. Fair enough?
Yes.
You didn't just speak to Ms. Bridegan that night at the police station. You spoke to her many, many times throughout this investigation, correct?
That's correct.
And regardless of what you were talking about, life insurance, her location, anything that you were investigating, you never one time did it in a recorded or videotaped setting.
The only time she was ever at the police station in the soft room was the first night. Every other time we ever met with her, it would have been out in the field or it would have been through a phone call.
Because maybe that's where you chose to meet her. That was a decision you all made. When you asked Mr. Fernandez to come in, you asked him to come into the police station, right?
Yes.
You asked him to come into a room that had a couch and a camera in it, right?
Yes.
You controlled that setting. You and Detective Lamont, right?
We asked him to come in and he agreed.
And you turned the camera on.
Yes.
You could have turned the camera on when you met with Ms. Bridegan if you asked her to come to the police station, right?
Correct.
She was cooperative with your investigation, is what you said, right?
Yes.
So if you asked her to come to the police station, you have no reason to believe she wouldn't have.
No.
Then you could have asked your questions in a recorded room if you wanted to, right?
Yes.
And you didn't in this case.
No.
Today, going back to the gravel lot thing, you never saw the vehicle stop in the gravel lot, correct?
No, I did not.
So you don't know if it just kept going. Even if it pulled into the gravel lot for a second and you happen to be right in your speculation, you don't know that it stopped there, right?
I can't say how long it did or didn't stop there for.
And just so we're clear, the gravel lot is a children's school, correct?
Yes.
This is 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night, right?
Yes.
A random pickup truck sitting right in front of a children's school stopped for 2 hours is the length of time that truck would have been, that vehicle would have been there. Not a single person reported a suspicious vehicle inside of a school parking lot?
That area is actually very dark. It's on the side of the school. I don't know that anyone, you could probably pull in there and no one would even know that the truck was there.
Or someone could walk by and see a suspicious truck in front of the gravel lot in front of a children's school, right?
On the side.
On the side of the children's school, right?
Yes.
To get into Pablo Hamlet, you have to pass that road, correct?
Yes.
And no one reported a suspicious vehicle outside of a child's school at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night ever to you that entire night, correct?
That's correct.
And the felt comfortable talking about the January 29th and when Mr. Fernandez goes to Potomac, you were able to say that you felt comfortable saying they could have been there at the same time. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
Those are your words, could have?
Yes.
Because you can't say that they were there at the same time, right?
Their devices were, two devices that belonged to those people were there at generally the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Let's break it down. The information that the state's talking about is what you learned from Henry Tenon?
Yes.
Okay. That would be inconsistent with anything that you testified regarding the firearm being stolen in Texas, correct? Both things can't be true. It can't be disposed of in February or March of 2022 and then stolen in Texas, correct?
I can only testify to what I was told, and I'm only testifying to what Juan Biggerstaff reported.
Right? And what you were told is it was disposed of in such a way it was unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
So then it couldn't be in Texas with Juan Biggerstaff, correct?
That's an inference.
You weren't told that the gun went to Texas.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to Juan Biggerstaff.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to John Biggerstaff.
Correct.
What you were told by a person who's no longer cooperating, who the defense has never gotten a chance to speak to, is that the gun was put into a junker's truck, correct?
A scrap metal truck.
Scrap metal truck.
Yes.
You just told me that you don't make inferences, correct?
I said you were making one.
You wouldn't feel comfortable making the inference that it would never be recoverable. Mr. Tenon never told you it was a scrap truck that could never be recovered, correct?
Based on the statement that he was made, I was answering a question, which was that he said it was put to a scrap metal truck.
That's it. That's all he told you. He didn't say anything about it being unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if you put it, you don't even know where in the scrap metal truck you put it, correct?
It was in a trailer of a scrap metal truck.
You don't know that. He didn't say a trailer. He just said he put it in a scrap metal truck, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if it was in the front seat, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea what happened to that firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea that if that gun went to a scrap yard and it was being unloaded, that someone wouldn't have said, hey, there's a perfectly good 10 millimeter firearm that's only a few years old. That's unusual to be in a scrap metal truck. You don't have any idea what happened to this firearm, right?
Correct.
So for the state to ask you that it's unrecoverable, all the questions I just asked you would tell you that you have no idea whether it was unrecoverable because you don't know, right?
I only know what Mr. Tenon testified to.
And the only thing you know is that he said he put it in a scrap metal truck.
That's correct.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Okay. Anything further for this witness right now?
No, Your Honor. You may be excused.
Okay. Okay. Detective, you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You can step down. Also, Detective, before you go, the rules that I put into place about testimony at this point, you're now off the witness stand, so you can speak to the attorneys.
Thank you.
All right. However, the rule is still in vogue. All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
The state calls Agent McStingle, Kenneth McStingle. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, may we approach just for scheduling purposes?
Yes.
Oh my God.
All right, Agent.
Yes, ma'am.
The state has another question, okay?
Okay.
Agent Stengel, in your 18 years of experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor, have you come across many 10 millimeter firearms in the other investigations you've done as a special agent?
No, ma'am, this is the first.
And would you say that in your training and experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor that a 10 millimeter firearm is relatively unusual?
It is unusual, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now I am done. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yet to overly burdensome.
Right, so now what is
Now
the
we're
solution
talking
without
hours
turning
and
her
hours
phone
and
over?
hours and hours.
So now, compliance-wise, what is the solution without turning her phone over?
Our solution was to allow us to understand the materiality.
I've gotten past that.
I know, but that's it. I mean, that is our solution. So I guess we're at that
That you
point
can
then.
object more, I'm asking, how can you, if it's overburdensome, give me a solution that would not be so burdensome to Ms. Bridegan to comply with the court's order?
We don't believe that the court should order an extraction
ruled.
or the information of the thing.
I have ruled.
Then again, Your Honor, it's going to have to be just then an order stating that she has to hand her phone over to somebody for an extraction.
Your Honor, if I may, one of the two affidavits that we filed this morning is from another qualified expert at Invista, and the affidavits outline the proposed way that Invista could effectuate this type of extraction, and also a filter team process by which Jake Green, who was the person who appeared yesterday under oath and gave testimony before the court, would be walled off and would not have any access or direction or involvement whatsoever in the extraction, since that was a concern expressed by Ms. Bridegan's counsel yesterday. We've proposed a solution, Your Honor. We're simply asking that the court enter an order allowing Ms. Kayla Nelson, who is the professional from Invista, to perform the limited extraction of the applications the court has outlined in its order and outlined in our subpoenas. And Ms. Nelson is available and can be in Jacksonville tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to complete the extraction.
I'll hear Ms. Bridegan on that solution.
Your Honor, we stand on, we do not agree with having an extraction of her phone. We believe it's a violation of her privacy rights. We believe that we have a right to know what the materiality is of what is being sought on her phone. I understand that the judge has already ruled on those issues. That is our position.
All right. I'll overrule the objection. Ms. Bridegan turns her phone over at 9 a.m. tomorrow. This court hearing is concluded.
Your Honor, I apologize. I just want to be sure.
I've got to start writing, Ms. Nelson. I've got a jury back there. What is it?
I understand. I just want to make sure that we are giving Ms. Nelson the correct scope. So is it both subpoenas that have been issued by the defense?
Yes, with the correction, I went back through the order. I misspoke yesterday. I did say that everything, I'm going to just say everything comes to me in camera review, and I will review it and then release it from there. I did say yesterday that release directly to you, but I'm just going to do it in camera review of everything. And Mr. Clifton, you can, the offer still remains. Do you want to review the download after the fact to make objections to the disclosure that I would consider prior to any disclosure?
Yes, we want to be heard prior to anything going to the defense.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. It's going to be a short turnaround then. 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, including convicted felons.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you've located this truck. Huge missing piece of the puzzle, but yet the murder weapon is still missing. And I'm sure in your training, your experience, I believe you said you've been an ATF agent for approximately 18 years at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You certainly had other law enforcement officers show up on the scene that afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
Even Mr. Jones commented, how many cops were there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville Beach.
Yes, sir.
ATF.
Yes, sir.
Am I missing any other agencies that were
I
there?
believe that was all, sir.
Okay. Safe to say it was dozens of officers.
Not dozens, no, sir.
A lot.
I'd say approximate 10.
Okay. But enough people that if you wanted to, you certainly could go in that backyard and look in the bushes to see if a firearm has been thrown in the bushes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You could have looked in the trash cans and in the recycling bin if you chose to.
If we yes, sir, we had that opportunity.
And I have not been to this particular property, but by looking at the picture, it looks like it may even have a crawl space underneath the house. But if there is a crawl space, certainly with the consent of Mr. Jones, you or fellow officers could look underneath the house to see if there's a firearm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys could bring out metal detectors and search the property to see if a firearm has been buried somewhere in this backyard.
That is an option, sir. Yes.
Certainly. Something that happens, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in your long experience as a law enforcement officer, certainly there's three ways you can search a property, right? So you would agree it's not necessarily the rarest firearm out there?
I believe I said it's not very common. I didn't specify to the rarity of it. I just said in my own personal experience, this is the first time I've come across one.
The state asked you about your interview Were you aware that during the investigation, law enforcement went to Beach's pawn shop on 3rd Street in Jacksonville Beach to look for 10 millimeters?
I believe they canvassed different gun stores. Yes, sir.
Are you aware that at just one gun store, they located 6 purchases of a 10 millimeter?
Sir, I think if you were to put that in perspective of all the guns sold in a gun store, I don't think it's that significant.
How many gun stores do you think are in Jacksonville?
I couldn't tell you, sir.
Would you agree there's more than one?
I would agree. Yes, sir.
So to have 6 at one, that's not necessarily insignificant.
Again, you're talking about a numbers game where you had to put that in relation of all the other guns sold.
Sure. We'll let the jury make that determination. It's handwritten, but if you can see if you can find the Glock 10 millimeter on that list and identify it by what number is associated with it.
Looks like it'd be item number 7, Glock 40, which would be the model. I honestly can't make out looks like 4 characters next to it, but it looks like the serial number is BBGL, possibly 770.
Okay. And if you can, read for the jury what is number 6.
Glock 27. Looks like there's a 40 next to it, and it looks like the serial number maybe RBP38 and possibly a 6.
Okay. Would you agree that number 6 and number 7 are written right on top of each other?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, the serial number for number 6 and number 7 are almost right on top of each other.
They're on adjacent lines. Yes, sir.
But pretty close.
Pretty close. Yes, sir.
Support that. You would agree with that.
I just have the end result. Yes, sir.
But ultimately didn't gather any information that was related to Mario Fernandez.
Just that the guns were supposed to show up on, well, I'm sorry.
No, my question specifically, no. The state can't just tell you what to say by shaking your head.
I apologize. I started to say something. I'm sorry, sir. Ma'am.
Let me have the jury step out. All right, agent, everyone may be seated. Agent, let me have you step out into the anteroom, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please let the record reflect that the agent's off the witness stand. Mr. Hill, you started to address something. I'm going to give you the proper venue, not in front of the witness, not in front of the jury.
Yes, Your Honor. The witness went to start answering a question and stopped himself. I observed the state attorney's office shaking their head, giving acknowledgement to the witness in front of the jury to answer a question in a particular way. Entirely improper. They cannot direct a witness on what to say. And that's exactly what they were doing. There's video cameras throughout the courtroom. Your Honor can watch a replay yourself. That was the indication I got. The witness was smart enough to stop, and I can hear Mr. Mizrahi speaking, and I would ask for you not.
And members of ATF, the agents that had previously interviewed him, went and conducted follow-up interviews on this matter.
Yes, they continued to interview him.
And Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, in fact, retained a criminal defense attorney for those interviews.
Yes.
And Mr. Juan Biggerstaff no longer works as a sworn law enforcement officer.
That is my understanding.
Yes.
No further questions. Thank you, Agent.
Any follow-up?
Briefly, may I say at defense table?
Okay.
Agent, Juan Biggerstaff did not report that a 10 millimeter Glock 40 Gen 4 was stolen. He reported a Glock 27. Is that correct?
A Glock 27 was stolen, yes.
And a Glock 27 is not a 10 millimeter, correct?
No, sir.
And as far as
Oh, as far as what she had told me?
Sure.
Oh, okay. She said that they were going through a nasty divorce when I first met her. That, things with her and Jared weren't well. That it wasn't pretty. Mainly because of the child custody.
And did Mario Fernandez seem to go along with the flow, so to speak? Did he complain as much about Jared, or was it mostly Shanna Gardner?
Mainly Shanna. We never actually talked about Jared at all. I've asked him about him, but he never told me like, oh, this or that. No, it was never brought up.
In those conversations with Ms. Gardner where Mr. Fernandez was present, he would just kind of go along with what Ms. Gardner was saying.
Yeah, he didn't really say anything. I mean, it was mainly her talking.
Understood.
Those are friends, correct?
Yes.
State asked you didn't know you were being recorded?
Nope.
He didn't know he was being recorded?
I'm sure he would have said something.
I know it's obvious, but you called him. He didn't call you, right?
Correct.
And it was because you heard some stuff about the media, right?
Right.
Would you agree that most of what you were talking about was what the media was reporting, you were telling him, and then he was responding what he had heard through the media?
Correct.
Okay. And did you think that he made any admissions to you?
No.
Did he seem different on that phone call than he had seemed any time before?
No. We're normal.
In the first call, you start talking about that the media is reporting something with Shanna, the wife, right?
Right.
He tells you they had separated. That was true, correct?
Correct.
He tells you that she moved across the country. That's true, correct?
Correct.
Did he seem concerned that you were asking him about this?
No, because he would have told me out, like, what, it's not your problem.
Right.
And just Mario's that type of guy, yeah.
And he chatted with you to the extent that he knew anything, right?
Correct.
And then he started talking about like Toyota Tundras, right?
We talk about trucks. That's all we talk about is trucks outside of life. But yeah, trucks a lot.
On that whole call, I mean, the state decided to fast forward, and it's their evidence and their direct examination. They can do whatever they want. But there's like 7 or 8 minutes where you guys are just talking about you wanting to buy a Toyota Tundra and him owning a Toyota Tundra and gas mileage and modifications and friends of yours that were in the military. You guys were talking about all sorts of stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. And never one time did you feel like he admitted anything to the participation in the death of Jared Bridegan, correct?
Our location data. So can you explain to the jury what the difference between cellular location data is and something called timing advance data?
So cell site data, or called detail records with cell site, let's say a phone call, you have information about the tower and what side or sector was used on that tower for that phone call. Timing advance is a different data set that provides a calculated distance that the phone was from the base of the tower. So with that information, we can draw that calculated distance across that 120-degree sector, and we, for the 4G context technology, we map those as 78 meters wide, and so you draw that 78-meter wide band or arc across the sector, and the majority of the time you'll find that phone inside that shaded area. The way that works is that the tower sends a signal from the tower to the phone, and the phone relays it back to the tower. The network runs a stopwatch on that relay, and then you use a simple equation to calculate the distance that the phone was from the tower based on how long it took the signal to get to and from the phone. The reason that's there is you can think of a crowded movie theater. Let's say there's an emergency in the theater, like a fire, but there's only one exit. If everyone goes out that one exit, tries to go out at the same time, there'll be a tragedy. If there's someone to designate who goes out, which row goes out at what time, sequentially, then everyone can get out safely. It tells the phones when they have to send signals so that they arrive within the right time window. It's critical for cell phones to work. The cellular providers have, in our training, have told us that for your cell phone to operate and function, timing advance has to work. And it provides much more precise location information than just tower and sector.
And during this time frame, although Mr. Fernandez's phone is recording those timing advance data, was there any user generated or received cellular data for that time frame?
There's no phone calls to map during that time frame, no.
And here we see that Mr. Tennant's device is located with a confidence ratio of 30 meters at this general location, and you've made that a little bit of a bigger data point. And Mr. Fernandez is in that timing advanced band with a recorded data at least at 4:20:30 and 4:23:34.
So within about 18 seconds, there's a timing advance band of 0.44 miles, which is roughly the same distance that the tenant residence is from the tower.
And here we see, I guess, a more close-up view of that.
Yes.
We see that they are co-located, potentially the device is co-located for a time period of at least 3 minutes. And then here on slide 33, we see the pink phone belonging to Mr. Fernandez beginning to travel away from us. Can you describe for me what the cellular activity of this phone is during this time frame? We're getting timing advanced, which is generated by the network. It doesn't mean you have to use your phone. What user-generated or user-received activity is there on this phone for these time periods?
So the last outgoing text message is at 4:26 p.m. There's another incoming text message at 6:29. There's no cell site for that, so I can't map those two. The next event is that call with no duration at 7:09:52, and then there's nothing else until 10:46 when there's a text message.
So this slide here, the only activity for this phone from 6:35 p.m., and then I'll get to the next slide, through 8:19 p.m. are these two timing advanced measurements at 7:09 and 7:10.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's no incoming or outgoing text messages for this time frame or incoming or outgoing phone calls past 7:10 p.m.
No, not till the text message at 10:46.
Going to the next slide, we have from 7:11 p.m. to 8:19 p.m., we have no timing advance records for this cell phone. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And we see here, what can you tell us about any cellular usage? I know you did it last slide, but for this time frame, are there any incoming or outgoing text messages or data sessions or phone calls coming in and out?
No, not between 4:26 and 6:29, and then nothing else until the 10:46, and there's no data sessions with cell site during this time frame.
So from the time frame between 10:28 p.m. and our next slide, 8:20 p.m., can you draw any conclusions about the location of these devices?
So no, in the absence of location information, I can't show the location of the phone. I can see where it picks up on the next slide, and during that time in between, the phone could have traveled any distance one could travel and get back to the location that's going to be where the cell site picks back up, or it could have stayed there that whole time. I don't know. So there's snapshots in time, and they show you the location of the phone during those specific times.
Slide 43, we have timing advanced, again recording beginning at 8:20 p.m. with no timing advanced records again until 8:48, and then we have 8:48, 8:52, 8:55, 8:58, 8:59, 8:48, and we see some tower activity. Can you tell us what this slide indicates to you?
Yes, the target cell phone, especially at 8:48, is at or near the area of intersection between the two timing advance bands, and the target cell phone's in the same geographic area as the two locations of interest, the location of interest and the Fernandez residence.
Okay. Agent Blythe, on February 16th, we're seeing that there are timing advance records available for Mr. Fernandez's phone and multiple timing advance records. For this particular date, we see here on slide 36, I think over 15 different timing advance recordations in a span of 11 minutes. We see multiple timing advance recordations in the span of 6 minutes for this phone. between 5:21 and 5:45, you didn't even map all of them because of the number of timing advance recordations. Then we see here multiple intersecting bands on page 39. And we see 606, 608, 608, 608, 635,
Correct.
545 on page 40. And then we have from 535 until 709, 710, we have no timing advanced records. And we skip ahead to 8:20 p.m., we pick back up with timing advance recordations. I understand data by itself can't lead you to draw any conclusions, but what can you tell me about the lack of data for this, given the amount of timing advance data both before and after this time period?
I'm checking to ask an answer. Counsel did a whole recitation of facts without asking questions. He asked the exact same question that I asked. There was an answer moments ago, just did not draw conclusions.
Okay. I'll overrule the objection. You can answer.
It points towards no connection with the cellular network during that time frame, in that there's no data sessions with cell site. There's periods without the text messages that we looked at those times, no phone calls, and there's absence of timing advance. There can be time frames where timing advance isn't recorded on a network, and I can't. It can seem almost continuous, and you can see the numerous events that there were before and then moving forward afterwards, but there's this period of time. So you have to look at it, the totality, and you can look at the amount of data activity, call activity, and see how much or little a person is using a phone. But at the end of the day, T-Mobile has their record retention, and they operate the timing advance system. So I can't say exactly why there's no timing advance during that time frame. But one possible reason is the phone being powered off or airplane mode during a specific period of time.
You can't say with certainty that's what it is. It could be network connection issues. It could be user generated by turning off or putting it in airplane mode.
Correct. So yeah, whether it could be either one.
There is multiple timing advance and cellular activity both before and after this specific time frame, which there is none. And although you can't say why that is, there is activity both before and after this time frame.
Correct. And we saw the time frames where the phone was, appeared to be stationary, no calls, map during those time frames, and there's still, timing advance being recorded.
This just happens to be the time of the homicide.
Yes, ma'am.
And later we know his location data here. Does that give any illumination as to your opinion on whether his phone was off or in airplane mode versus just happened to have connectivity issues during this time frame?
Yeah, we take our phones with us, we use them, they are collecting cell site location information when we make phone calls, when we use data, when generally that's happening periodically when we're using the phone. If you see an absence of those things, it points towards the phone's not connected to the network for whatever reason. And so whether that be off or airplane mode, Google can continue to collect location information, even if you put it in airplane mode. So, and then transmit that back once you turn the transmitter.
Agent Blythe, having gone through the slides, is there any questions, since you're the expert, that I didn't, anything else you think that you need to say or correct, given your testimony here today?
No.
Sustain.
Agent Blythe, I will leave you and tender you for cross-examination to Mr. Dreiser.
All right. Members of the jury, that's going to conclude the information or evidence today. So leave your notepads on your chair. I'm going to remind you to please follow the communication rules. See you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Right, please let the record reflect that Jerry's left the courtroom. Agent Blythe, you're still considered to be on the witness stand, but we'll take the break over the night's recess. Please do not discuss your testimony with anyone, and that's including the attorneys, because you're still considered to be on the witness stand, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, see you tomorrow morning. If you could get here maybe a couple of minutes before so we can get you on the witness stand.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Anything we need to take up? All right. Thank you all very much. I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.